Hi, we're GM, and I'm Zoe Shore,
I'm Kai Reyes.
I'm Jason Thomas.
and this is Project Helios.
Alright, so our problem.
So, we're the General Motors Company, and we're very excited about Project Helios. We believe it's going to be the future of automotive transportation, and we believe that the largest car company in America is ready to take it on.
We're going to get a little bit of help from our friend down here. He's a little bit behind Zoe, so it's hard to see, but our Bolt EV, this is our autonomous fully electric car that we're rolling out, hopefully, in the next 5 years. 38,300 people died in 2015 alone due to traffic accidents. This is according to the National Highway Transportation Safety Administration. That is enough people in 1 year to fill the Boston Red Sox Fenway Park. Now, not only is 2015 the highest amount of reported deaths in 1 year since 2008, the World Health Organization estimates that by 2030, car accidents will account for the 5th most deaths in the world compared to any other cause of death. That is equal to breast cancer, violence, and Alzheimer's deaths combined. This is where we come in. At Google, the project lead declared that he could reduce, using anonymous cars, 90% of the following statistics, and we agree with him. So, number of accidents. We can reduce the number of accidents on the roads by 90% by introducing fully autonomous cars. This will save 495 million people from getting in accidents, 30,000 lives, 2 million fewer injuries, and overall $400 billion saved in costs associated with injuries, insurance, car repair. Second, wasted commuting. We can cut down wasted commuting by 90%, resulting in 4.8 billion fewer commuting hours, 1.9 billion gallons in fuel savings, and $101 billion saved in lost productivity and fuel costs. Finally, the number of cars on the road we feel like we can reduce by 90% as well. This will reduce the cost per trip mile by at least 80%. It will see an increase in car utilization from around 5 to 10% on average, which is currently what's being reported, up to beyond 75%. And we can better land use with fewer parking lots and garages, leaving space for other facilities.
This is the current ride-sharing supply chain, and as a manufacturer, we want to enter ourselves into this supply chain. So currently, it's personal drivers operate personal vehicles, and then the personal drivers are paid a commission, so they're around 25 to 36.5%, and then plus tip. So it's quite expensive out of the ride-sharing pocket. A lot of it goes to the drivers, and then Lyft collects the extra revenues on top of that. With the Helios ride-sharing supply chain, we believe that GM could provide Lyft with fully autonomous cars. The cars would pick up riders and drop them off, and then be able to recharge themselves. Then Lyft and GM would be able to split the profits 100%.
Perfect. Helios is cost efficient. Individuals would be saving 30 to 45 cents a mile in ownership and operating costs by paying 30 cents a mile for our service. Right now, people are spending around 75 cents or 60 cents depending on whether they use their cars for around 10,000 miles or 15,000 miles a year. And we can lower by using an autonomous ride-sharing network those costs to around about 15 cents in terms of owner and operating fees. And by charging 30 cents a mile, we're saving our consumer quite a bit of money every year. That's around $4,500 on average. And at the same time, we're making double what we're putting into this. Convenience. Individuals spend about 100 hours a year in commute. This number becomes larger in urban areas where traffic is worse, and this time could turn into productive work time or entertainment time. That 100 hours is about 2.5 weeks worth of full-time employment vacation, and by giving this back to the consumer, we effectively give them that by letting them utilize it for whatever they want. Confidence. By stepping into one of the Helios cars, our clients will know that they're in safe hands. I talked earlier about the fact that we're going to reduce our traffic accidents by 90%. They'll know that when they step into one of these cars, they are becoming much more safe on the road. Additionally, law enforcement will know that we've eliminated human error, and so our cars will follow all traffic laws and won't be reckless in the least. Compensation, customers will spend less money on their car upkeep. Like I said, $4,500 less around that, and they'll be getting more out of the car. The accidents and the fuel, this can be invested or saved, and they can also use the space which they'd save for storing their car for other purposes, repurposing their garage, and this gives their homes more value, and also they can do more work with the commute time hours that we've given them and make more money. Finally, connection. So Helios provides real-time data, crash statistics, and an open source API. This open source API allows developers to create apps for our program. The crash statistics and the real-time data are effective tools for the government to see our progress. And finally, our cars actually communicate with each other. So they're able to feed each other real-time data about traffic, which helps streamline some of the courses you take. Even Google Maps, it can try to estimate the amount of time that it will take to get to a certain destination, but it won't know exactly and be able to change in real time like our cars can.
Alright, so we have the resources and skills to lead the auto industry. So suppliers such as Microsoft and Google and Apple, they'll be eager entrants to the market, and thus there'll be a period of technology innovation, therefore making cars even better, and our cars especially even better with technology, and then that'll eventually make them more affordable. And we're not worried about other new entrants such as Google and Apple. They could potentially enter the market, but they lack the vehicle manufacturing capability and experience that we have at GM. And then large buyers such as automobile rental companies will be eager to enter the market because not only are we damaging their business by our partnership with Lyft, but also like it's a very competitive industry, and in order to remain competitive, they're going to want to enter the autonomous car industry. And then we are essentially turning the most disruptive substitute commodities like Lyft and Uber into a commodity for us because we are partnering with Lyft and we're therefore getting rid of that competition. And then competitors, though there are established autonomous car companies already out there in the market with their vehicles, being the first people in a market does introduce risk and mistake. So Project Helios ensures success over alternatives. So the integration, we integrate driverless technology into consumer life by creating less disruption, whereas manual cars, in order to drive and be active on the road, your life is very disrupted. Our intelligence, our interoperability, so our software fluidity with the Lyft partnership and our cars are all connected in general. So it's very easy for operators, very connected. And then manual cars, they're just slow to react to technological changes because they're independent of Lyft and Uber services. And then our system preemptively adjusts for traffic flow and consumer desires, whereas normal cars, the user has to do that. Our Lyft technology is integrated with social media, and our car data sharing is based on user preference, whereas a normal car is very limited, there's very limited social data capability. GM's autonomous vehicles are reliable, convenient, and quick, and normal vehicles are not as reliable, are very slow, and not as convenient. And then our technology engages users through wireless connectivity and allows them to safely multitask so they're not bored, where like driving normal cars, just monotonous driving can get very boring. And we have a plan to de-risk innovation, or we're going to de-risk Project Helios across the entire innovation scale. So our first period is the discovery and incubation period. We're going to develop our original technology and then test drive it to make sure it's safe and discover any problems. And then in the acceleration period, we are going to develop our possible partnerships with software companies like Intel, and maybe even create a coalition with other car companies to create a national safety standard. And this is also where we're going to develop our partnership with Lyft. And then we're going to create an effective ad campaign that gets across our company's common purpose to the public. And then our last stage of innovation is scale, and that's where we're just going to try to maintain our market share and grow profitability. So basically we just want to stabilize our market share and scale production.
So these are what we see as the possible back-end partners to our system. So in May of 2016, GM recently bought Cruise Autonomous Systems. This is a startup out of the Silicon Valley area, and they are just based completely on autonomous cars and autonomous driving. We believe that they can provide us with the technology we need to kind of make a foray into this market. Until we decided that we needed a reliable partner who has capabilities in the processing side of our systems. And OnStar is our current subsidiary. I believe that it can be very successful in connecting us to the Internet of Things and connecting our Project Helios and GM vehicles to the world.
Perfect. Not only are we trying to get a good back end in our partners, but we're also looking towards the future in our selection of partners. So we've talked about our ride sharing, we've talked about Lyft quite a bit, but we're also looking at logistical shipping solutions in FedEx and DHL. Additionally, we're looking at heavy vehicles, tractors and semis in Kenworth and Kubota. And essentially what we want to do there is have the infrastructure to be able to provide construction companies or development companies with the vehicles they need in order to transport materials or personnel from site to site. With the shipping solutions, we're looking to partner with websites like Amazon and Overstock and be able to give them autonomous cars that can go out and deliver packages, or other business partners that need their files shipped quickly and safely around the world.
So this is what we project as the total available market for American cars. We project that at $2.261 trillion, and we think that's a really exciting possibility there. There's a lot of capital there, and we believe that we've got a really good ability and footing to make entrance or be successful within the market. Currently, we have 8.5 of the total market share of ground transportation, and we believe that with Project Helios, we can double our market share by 2025.
Alright, so here at GM, we're targeting 3 consumer personas for Project Helios. So the first one is a businessman. He's obviously very busy, and so he wants a car that has innovation and ease of use. And then he also wants that luxury feel. And then our second persona is your typical soccer mom. She wants the car to be safe and protected for her children, because she's going to be driving her children around. But she also has a very stressful and busy life, so she wants to make sure that it's a self-driving car, so she'll save time doing that, and so she can remain active and busy in her children's lives. And then our third persona is a college student, and we'll be using him for our Lyft partnership. That's what we're targeting. So obviously he wants it to be very user-friendly, being a college student, but using our Lyft partnership, he wants it also to be trendy and cool and just exciting to use.
Normally, we don't expect large gains in our incubation phase. We expect even to maybe incur losses as we develop a product that we believe to be reliable and really willing to put ourselves behind. But this puts us in a really good spot to accelerate our product and accelerate Project Helios. And we believe by year 5, we can evaluate a terminal value of $10.9 billion, and we project that $1.8 billion in net revenue by year 5.
All right, so to recap, we save $400 billion annually, 38,300 lives annually, 30 cents a mile for clients, 1.9 billion gallons of fuel annually, and we create $2.6 billion in profit over 5 years, the largest autonomous ride-sharing network in the United States, domestic and international partnerships, 17% domestic transportation market share.
We need $100 million.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.